I was told we were not allowed to have notes. So this is probably going to be more like a stand-up comic routine because I had ideas very similar, so that not similar at all. I'm a dreamer. Have done, and I realized retroactively, I've been looking ahead at the perfection of what I haven't done. So there's been a lot of shame. Brene Brown, rocking the same thing. So I've been focusing on that, thinking about this. When Tamara first emailed me, I was like, I think I literally turned around even at my desk and I was like, me? Like you want me to do a story? Like these are supposed to be like success stories. I feel successful. This should be like real women, raw stories, you know? Okay. But then I was like, okay, wait, that's actually the point. And I started really thinking, and all I could see was like, I haven't gotten out of debt yet. I haven't done anything magical. I haven't consolidated anything. Like, I'm not asking my dad for money anymore. That's good. Okay, that's a success check. And that's the vulnerability piece, right? Because you just want to be like, yeah, totally only child, military brat, but also realized recently that I have some narcissistic things happening in my parental units, and that wasn't my fault, and that I was told I wasn't good with money my whole life because he needed to be needed. And so it's like, just let me be your accountant. Like, that doesn't feel right. But since I'm bad with money, okay, you know what I mean? Help me, I want you to feel needed and things like that. So what I didn't realize is that completely hamstrung me for a very long time. So I was moving so fast for so long, being the military brat, I just kept going. So for 15 years, I only lived places like 3 to 6 months, which, you know, if I had $100, I'd be like, where could I go for 50 so I have enough for food? And I would always meet somebody and something magical would happen, and I would get these amazing jobs. So I mean, my stories, if stories have value, I'm a billionaire. Saucy. So that's how you look at it, right? Doesn't really work at bill time, but makes me feel good sometimes. So yes, once I sell my book, yes, so that's the future. So that's the dreamer part, which you're exactly right. Too much of that, and then you're just looking ahead and then not seeing that you're about to fall off the cliff for a while. So I've done some really amazing things and have had great experiences, and then kind of when I came to a halt, all that stuff just crashed in, and it was just like, oh wow, you really don't have a lot of skills in life, basic stuff. So the other reason I feel like Tamara maybe asked me to do this is because I feel like I should have like a frequent flyer card, because I've done the budgeting class like so many times. I'm like, no, I know. I know the form. I know where it is. Okay, I'm gonna do it this time. So what I finally realized, two things that there are successes. The reason I wanted to tell you that, not is to just be like, here's my shame and all the things and it's okay. I don't have like a wow at the end, but what I realized is that in taking that look and getting past the like having a like snappy response of just like, you know, yeah, I'm vulnerable and I'm like a little girl, and that's not a throwaway line. If you can take that moment and actually look at the things that are the wounds and the scary parts and then go into them, which is really hard. This community of On Track is so non-judgmental, and I can attest to that because I have come so many times, and they never go, oh, they never do that. They're just like, come on in, and it just makes me feel like, oh, I have another chance. And it's not another chance, it's a building block. So I finally did my $5 out of my paycheck, which is like, doesn't seem like a lot, that's never gonna make anything, but I forgot about it, and I had $800 in this emergency fund. And some things happened, and I was able to move over $500 yesterday. My husband was whatever, and I was like, I got this. And so like, that's it. So we still have debt, and we still have a lot of things, but I realized if I try to have all the things done before I talk to anybody about, you know, now I'm successful, now I have a financial business, which will never happen. But that's okay, because you're here to ask us the questions. But then I realized, wait, I have value too. It is okay to not, there's this space, and that space is like, if that's your proclivities and your good talents, awesome. If this is your place, then be the best you can in that place too. So I was like, all right, that was check. I did something great. I'm able to feed my children. We're adopting 2 children, and now that I'm having to be a parent for the first time, like they're 8 and 10, so it's like insta-parent. Oh my God, it's intense. And so all this stuff's happening, and now I can't ask anybody. So I've got these little people that are looking at me, and it's like, whoa, wait, I'm not the adult here. No, I'm still learning. Too bad. So that's actually been really good and helped me kind of, I actually lost 40 pounds recently, and which is funny because I was like, money and food. Those are my 2 places that I go when I'm like, I can't deal, all the things. And I was like, surely food's gonna be the last bastion. It's money. So that's good, but I have more confidence now, so hopefully that'll move up. And the other thing I was just thinking is that mindset that you're talking about. Realizing like, okay, I've got that one thing. That's okay. If you have one thing, if you have no things, just keep coming back because they will let you in. And there's all these amazing women and amazing tools, and we've all been in crazy situations, and yes, I may not ever be an accountant, but there's other things that I'm good at, and the value isn't the same. But the same part is that we do our best, I guess. So it's that building block. Okay, I did this, and now I can do this. And along the way, instead of always looking at that place that I'm not at yet, it's one of those, I know it's a cliche, but stopping to kind of smell the roses and look around and be like, man, I have some really good stories. Like, I got arrested at the pyramids of Egypt. Like, priceless. So it depends on how you look at things. So just keep coming back. I will get my husband to do a money date one of these days, I promise. So far I'm single in the money date category. But I show up, my gosh, the line, I love the idea of talking to your money. I think I'm going to start just doing that. But anyway, I just wanted to, with sincere gratitude, thank On Track for being there and believing in me even when I'm not maybe performing as well as I could. It's like that possibility is always still there. So no matter what's happening, whatever it is, because life has thrown us a crazy curveball sometimes, just keep getting up in the morning and have somebody to call. And if you don't have anyone to call Tamara. So anyway, so much gratitude. Thank you very much.